I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
All right, Chelsea fans, welcome back to our special match preview. That is right. We do 3 reasons why Chelsea will win, 3 reasons why Chelsea will lose. This match that we're talking about today, the Norwich City match against the championship-bound Canaries, who are saying goodbye to the Premier League, and it's 3 points we have to take. So let's just jump right in. What's the first reason that you have why Chelsea are going to win? That's right. You're talking about the winning side this time.
Yes, the eternal optimist in me has given everything I have to these 3 points. So I think the first reason is pretty obvious, right? And it's not going to take a rocket scientist to figure this out, but we were just gifted a third place finish at the end of whatever match week 35 or 34, 35, I think. And it is very obvious now that City have been granted their appeal against UEFA, and they're going to be able to play Champions League football next year, that the top 4 race has never been more real than it is right now. I think, of course, Chelsea got lucky that some of the weekend's results went our way for the first time in a long time. But I also think the added pressure is a good thing. First of all, it's Norwich at home. That should be a win in any scenario ever in the history of the Premier League. So you should do it. But I think the added incentive, Dan, of Chelsea being able to pull even momentarily 4 points ahead of Leicester and United is a massive incentive. And I really hope the team go out and just smash it as early and as often as humanly possible.
That makes a lot of sense. And the highlighting of just the opportunity that exists in this moment with Bournemouth doing something crazy, just pulling a result absolutely out of thin air. Wow. Southampton at the death, finding a equalizer to nick a couple points off their maximum tally for the end of the season. And thinking about the fact that, Wolves have just, we've got a cushion against Wolves right now. We've got a cushion against Sheffield United. So all of that makes sense to me. If I have to come up with reasons, and this was hard, reasons why Chelsea are going to lose this, because I definitely am on the side that I do think will win. The inconsistency that we've had and the injuries as kind of a partner is probably the first one. When you don't have N'Golo Kante to rely upon, when you've got Christian Pulisic, who's getting knocked around every single game, he's getting the Eden Hazard treatment and just getting the absolute crap kicked out of him. I'm just concerned about where we're at, from a mental fatigue standpoint, from a physical standpoint. We're not going to necessarily have the ideal 11 out there. And that's a concern to me. And I think with the way that we have had some great results against the best teams and have had terrible results and we've helped teams get out of the relegation zone. We pulled West Ham out. We gifted them points. So that to me has me feeling like we potentially could take this match and not take it as seriously as we could because of the competition, because West Ham just put 4 and what should have been 6 goals past them this last match.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of what brings me to my point too, right, Dan, of why Chelsea should win this. Norwich are simply awful. They're by far the worst team in the league. Obviously, your point about Mikel Antonio tripling his yearly goal output against them is insane. And you kind of look at this from multiple angles, right? Chelsea have this season struggled against teams who bunker down, right, who put 10 behind the ball. Norwich are not that team. They leak goals like crazy. They've leaked 67 goals this season and only scored 26. They have lost 24 matches and only won 5. I mean, this is a historically bad, definitely going down, to the championship side. They are, probably you could make an argument which of our defenses is worse at times, for sure. But Chelsea certainly have been more clinical than Norwich have in front of goals. I mean, you look at some of the stats for their leading goal scorer, Pukki, hasn't scored in like 6 months. You look at Cantwell, looks pretty knackered at this point, and he's like their answer to our Mason Mount typically in terms of energy, enthusiasm, and pushing the ball at field. Buendia certainly slowed down from his early season form. I mean, you kind of just go through their lineup, and it's not flattering by any means. And you compare some of these numbers with Chelsea, and it's just, you would assume that Chelsea would be 3 or 4 goal favorites against this team. I mean, I'm just looking at like baseline stats here. Let's see. I'm going to view this match right now. Going to the Premier League's own website.
Are you talking about the fact, Nick, that they have scored a total of 4 goals in the calendar year of 2020? Because that would be a point of concern, and maybe why you would feel better about this match in particular.
Yeah, I mean, like their form. Let's just go through their form really quick. They scored 1 against Watford, and then Watford came back and beat them with an overhead kick, which is cruel and unusual punishment. 0-4 to West Ham, 0-1 to Brighton, 0-4 to Arsenal, 0-1 to Everton, and like that's their last 5. So not great, Bob. And you would assume, given their leaky defense, given their impotent attack, that Chelsea could somehow scramble some goals over the line here and just give it the old college try. So, Norwich are terrible is my second point.
Well, to counter that, I would say that we have found a way not just to gift teams, but to gift individuals a return to form in their scoring ways. We did it again just this past match with Sheffield. We did it with Antonio versus West Ham. Pukki has not scored in quite some time. Teemu Pukki, the FPL legend for the first 10 or 11 matches of this season before he absolutely evaporated and became Mr. Invisible. How likely is it that if Norwich score, it's going to be him who finds the way forward and gets the 1 goal past us, and we have to then win by 2-1 or win by 3-1 in this match? Because it's just going to be a one freaky out goal. They're going to have the desire to not go out quietly. They're going to try to play with some intensity. And, this is one of their last few matches in the Premier League for probably at least 1, if not more years. Mm-hmm. So going to want to go out with a bang. And Pukki is going to want to potentially make sure that if there are any suitors out there, because the wage reduction from a Premier League salary to a championship salary is pretty large. And the article I was reading was that they have potentially 50% pay cuts incoming. So if there's a opportunity to sell yourself as a backup striker or to stay in the Premier League, this is the time to do it. And if you can do it against Chelsea, you will find a way for a team to be interested in your services.
Quite compelling point, Dan. Quite compelling. You can pretty much predict that nightmare is going to happen. I just hope that we're 4 goals up when it finally does. Last point, and I think it's a Chelsea attacking point because our defense is not noteworthy right now. Olivier Giroud, I have, obviously not starting against Sheffield United, which I think was a mistake, and I said that on our last match review. I think Olivier Giroud has not only been really important from a goal-scoring perspective, he has a couple of goals so far this season, or so far since the restart, I should say, but also his hold-up play, interchange. I think he just gives you more than Tammy Abraham does right now in terms of linking up with other players and helping to move the whole attack along as one instead of as individuals. So I would have Olivier Giroud as kind of my third reason why I think Chelsea should be able to handle Norwich. And I know if you think back to the beginning of the season, Dan, Tammy's on a run of form, looking good, scores against Norwich. I think his first Premier League goal was against Norwich. So way back in August of 2019, which is 5 or 6 years ago, I think at this point, it's crazy how different, an entire season can make, almost a full calendar year can make, that he's not banging him in right now. So, Olivier Giroud, 0.3, boom.
Well, 0.3 on why Chelsea could lose this match. Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm making the point for the sake of the video, for the sake of the fans, Nick. It's set pieces. I don't think we give up a open play goal in this match. It's not our style. We like giving away set piece goals, and with Todd Cantwell there, with Bendia, someone is going to find their foot and just knock one in past Kepa. We'll have someone watching the ball just pass them by. Maybe an own goal. Maybe we'll score the goal on behalf of them as a little bit of a gift too. But set piece has, again, not been our strength this season in any capacity. And if there's a team looking for a way to take advantage of us, that is the way to do it. And so I don't think anything more needs to be said about that one in particular, but that's where I am going to be kind of having heart palpitations in this match. Just when we give up a corner from close distance, when we give up a corner or a set piece from close distance, there's going to be some arrhythmia going on there.
Yeah, every time we foul near the box, it's just like, it's like 2x the amount of anxiety I would typically have. All good points. I think this is the first one of these that we've done where all of our points are valid.
I think it's because we did this one without Brandon.
True. Absolutely true. Ridiculous.
All right. Well, we want to know what you think. What are the reasons Chelsea are going to win this match versus Norwich, get the 3 points, and make sure that we go get top 4, get back in the Champions League, and continue to go sign a ton of players who want to do that with Chelsea and with us. Or let us know the reasons why you think Chelsea are going to lose in the comments below. But hopefully we'll be back at you after this match with a match review talking about a win. Until next time, keep the blue flag flying high.